The book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill contains 13 main chapters, each focusing on one of the 13 principles of success that Hill identified after studying hundreds of successful people, including Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. The 13 chapters break down into the core principles as follow. Chapter 1, Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Chapter 2, Faith, visualization and belief in the attainment of desire. Chapter 3, Autosuggestion, the power of self-suggestion. Chapter 4, Specialized knowledge, personal experiences or observations. Chapter 5, Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Chapter 6, Organized planning, the crystallization of desire into action. Chapter 7, Decision, the mastery of procrastination. Chapter 8, Persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Chapter 9, Power of the mastermind, the driving force. Chapter 10, The mystery of sex transmutation, channeling sexual energy into creative power. Chapter 11, The subconscious mind, the connecting link. Chapter 12, The brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Chapter 13, The sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. Chapter 1, Desire. Welcome to Chapter 1 of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, the chapter that lays the foundation for all success. Desire. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. Napoleon Hill didn't say hope or wish or want. He said burning desire. Why? Because all great success begins when you want something so badly that you're willing to trade your time, focus, and even comfort for it. Hill studied hundreds of wealthy and successful individuals. The common thread? They all had a definite purpose, a vision so clear and strong that failure wasn't an option. Desire isn't passive. It's not dreaming about a better life. It's an obsession with turning that dream into reality. Hill gives us a 6-step method to transform vague wishes into strong, actionable desire. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Be specific. Not, I want to be rich. Say, I will earn $1 million. Determine exactly what you will give in return. There's no something for nothing. What service, value, or effort will you exchange? Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money. Put time pressure on your goal. Create a definite plan and begin at once. Don't wait for perfect. Begin now. Tweak as you go. Write a clear, concise statement. Combine steps 1 to 4 into one powerful declaration. Read your statement aloud twice a day, morning and night. See it. Feel it. Believe it. The power of desire isn't just emotional, it's mechanical. By repeating your desire, you're impressing it into your subconscious mind, which begins to filter opportunities, ideas, and behaviors that align with your goal. Desire turns into belief. Belief turns into action. Action creates results. Example 1. Edwin C. Barnes, the man who thought his way into a partnership with Edison Hill, shares the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who wanted to work with the great inventor Thomas Edison. Not for him. With him, Barnes didn't have money or connections, but he had desire, burning desire. He didn't say, someday. He got on a freight train to Edison's office and declared he would work with him. Edison gave him a low-level job. For months, Barnes did menial work while holding tight to his vision. Then came the opportunity. Edison launched a new invention that his sales team wasn't enthusiastic about. Barnes saw the chance. He asked to sell it, and succeeded, wildly. That moment made him a partner, just as he had visualized years earlier. His secret? Desire so strong it became destiny. Example 2. Imagined scene. The struggling artist with a written vision. Imagine a woman named Maya. She's a talented artist, but underpaid and working a day job she hates. One night, she reads Hill's book and does something different. She follows the 6 steps. She writes, I will earn $100,000 from my art within 2 years. I will give my time, effort, and creativity. I will sell on Etsy, attend craft fairs, and teach workshops. I will start now. She reads it every day. She works weekends. She reinvests profits. She keeps showing up. 1 year later, she's not only making more from her art than her job. She's speaking at events, featured in local news, and turning customers into raving fans. What changed? Not her talent. Her desire got structured. It became a magnet. Chapter 1 teaches us, every great success begins with a clear, burning desire. Desire isn't wishing. It's deciding. It's turning your dream into a written, spoken, and felt declaration of commitment. Follow Hill's 6 steps. Know what you want. Know what you'll give. Set a date. Make a plan. Write your statement. Read it daily. Desire is the fire that lights the engine of belief and action. You don't need to know how everything will happen. You just need to start with a clear decision that says, "This is mine. I will not quit until it's real." That's how you think and grow rich, from the inside out. Chapter 2 of Think and Grow Rich focuses on one of the most powerful forces in the human mind, faith. Not faith in religion, though spiritual belief can support it, but faith in yourself, your goal, and your ability to achieve it. Faith is the eternal elixir, which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. In this chapter, Napoleon Hill reveals that thoughts become things when they are mixed with emotion, and the strongest emotion of achievement is faith. You may have a burning desire, but without belief that it's possible, your subconscious won't act. Faith is what activates your desire and transforms it into results. How do you develop faith? Hill gives us a method, autosuggestion. That's the repetition of affirmations and mental imagery until belief becomes your default. The process works like this. Choose your definite purpose from Chapter 1. Write a positive statement in the present tense. Example, I am confidently earning $10,000 a month through my business. Repeat it aloud daily, with emotion. Visualize the outcome as if it's already real. Act in alignment with that belief. Faith isn't magic, it's programming. When you repeat a belief, your subconscious accepts it. When your subconscious accepts it, you behave in ways that support it, and those behaviors create success. Hill also explains that fear and doubt are just faith pointed in the wrong direction. You're already using faith. The question is, are you using it for or against yourself? Example 1. Napoleon Hill's son. From disability to determination. One of the most inspiring stories Hill shares is about his own son, Blair, who was born without ears and was told he would never hear or speak. But Hill refused to accept that. Fate. From the time Blair was an infant, Hill filled him with faith. He told him daily, "You will hear. You will speak." He never referred to him as disabled. He framed his difference as a strength. As Blair grew, that belief shaped his self-image. He developed the ability to hear, even without hearing aids. Later, he became a pioneer in hearing aid technology for others. Why? Because faith was planted and watered daily until it bore fruit. Chapter 2 reminds us, faith is a state of mind which may be induced by autosuggestion. You don't have to be born confident. You can train your mind to believe. Here's how. Create a specific emotional affirmation. Repeat it with feeling twice a day. Visualize your success as already real. Watch your thoughts turn into belief, belief into behavior, and behavior into results. Faith is not wishful thinking. It's emotionalized belief backed by action, and that's how you build the inner world that attracts the outer success you desire. Chapter 3 explores the bridge between your conscious thoughts and your subconscious mind. Autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind. Napoleon Hill teaches us that the subconscious mind doesn't filter, it accepts repeated thoughts and emotionalized statements as truth, whether positive or negative. This chapter builds on Chapter 2, Faith, by showing us the tool to develop that faith. Autosuggestion, also known as self-suggestion or intentional affirmation. It works like this. You decide what you want, your definite chief aim. You write it down in a clear, specific statement. You repeat it aloud every day, twice a day, morning and night. UI. Visualize yourself already living it. You emotionalize the experience, feeling gratitude, joy, and belief as if it's already yours. When this practice is done consistently, the subconscious begins to accept it as real and triggers behavior, creativity, and awareness that align with the outcome. Here's the catch. Autosuggestion works both ways. If you repeat fear, doubt, or failure, your subconscious accepts that too. That's why Hill says, you are what you think most of the time. Mastering autosuggestion means becoming aware of what you're feeding your mind and deliberately choosing thoughts that move you forward. Example, the story of Edwin C. Barnes, revisited with autosuggestion. Focus. Let's revisit the story of Edwin C. Barnes, the man who dreamed of becoming a partner with Thomas Edison. This time, we see how autosuggestion made his dream real. Barnes didn't just wish. He didn't just work hard. Every day, Barnes told himself, I will become Edison's partner. I will work with him, not for him. He repeated that thought until it burned into his subconscious. When Edison gave him a low-level job, Barnes didn't see a setback. He saw a step. His mind was already programmed to look for opportunity. And when Edison introduced a new product that no one wanted to sell, Barnes jumped on it. He sold it successfully, and Edison made him the exclusive distributor. His burning desire became faith, his faith became repetition, and his repetition became action. That's how autosuggestion turned a broke man into a business partner with one of history's greatest inventors. Chapter 3 reminds us, your subconscious mind will translate into its physical equivalent a thought that is emotionalized and mixed with faith. To use autosuggestion, write your goal clearly, repeat it daily, aloud, with emotion. Visualize it vividly. Back it with belief. This isn't magic, it's mental conditioning. Your mind becomes what you feed it. So feed it with clarity, confidence, and conviction, because what you repeat, you become. And what you become, you attract. Chapter 4, Specialized Knowledge, focuses on an often overlooked truth. General knowledge is not power. Specialized knowledge is. Knowledge is only potential. Power. It becomes power only when it is organized into definite plans of action. Napoleon Hill explains that schools teach general knowledge, but wealth is created by applying specific knowledge to a clear purpose. There are two types of knowledge. General knowledge, broad, scattered, and often not useful on its own. Specialized knowledge, targeted information applied to a specific goal or problem. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what matters for your goal and how to use or gather it. And if you don't have that knowledge yet, you can acquire it, read books and take courses, surround yourself with experts, partner with people who have the skills you lack. This chapter introduces the idea that you don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to know where to get the knowledge you need and organize it into action. Example, Henry Ford and the Power of Accessing Knowledge. Hill tells the story of Henry Ford, who was once criticized by journalists for being uneducated. They said Ford lacked formal schooling, so Ford challenged them, and during a court trial, they questioned him to prove he was ignorant. Eventually, Ford grew tired of the test and said, "If I really want to answer the foolish questions you've just asked, I have a row of electric push buttons on my desk, and by pushing the right button, I can summon to my aid men who can answer any question I desire." His point? He didn't need to memorize everything. He needed to command and direct the right knowledge. Ford built an empire not by being the smartest, but by organizing specialized knowledge into action. Chapter 4 reminds us, you don't need all the knowledge, just the right knowledge, applied with purpose. To apply this, get clear on your goal. Identify the skills and knowledge required. acquire them, or align with people who have them. Your wealth won't come from knowing everything. It will come from leveraging what you know and who you know to create results. Chapter 5. Imagination. Chapter 5, Napoleon Hill presents one of the most creative forces available to humans: imagination. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. There are two types of imagination. Synthetic imagination. Reorganizing existing ideas, plans, and concepts into new combinations. Creative imagination. Tapping into ideas, hunches, or inspiration that seems to come from nowhere. Hill calls this a connection to infinite intelligence. Hill believed imagination is the workshop where desire is shaped into a plan. It's where vision begins, and all great businesses, inventions, and movements are born. You don't need to wait to be inspired. You can train your imagination. Hill recommends feeding your mind with new material, spending time in silence and thought, writing down ideas daily, asking powerful questions like, how can I turn my desire into money? Imagination is the spark that turns invisible desire into visible wealth. Example. The man who built a fortune from a dream, Napoleon Hill, shares the story of a man who imagined selling phonographs during the early days of Edison's inventions. This man didn't invent anything. He used his imagination to see how the device could be sold in homes, something no one had thought to do. He partnered with Edison and created a massive business. His wealth didn't come from a factory or a formula. It came from seeing possibility, where others saw limitation. Chapter 5 reminds us, imagination is the workshop of the mind. Use your synthetic imagination to remix ideas. Use your creative imagination to receive inspiration. Ask yourself, what do I want? How can I make it happen? Who can help me? Then let your imagination go to work, because every fortune begins as an invisible idea until someone decides to bring it to life. Chapter 6. Organized Planning. Chapter 6 turns desire and imagination into execution. It's titled Organized Planning because without a plan, even the strongest desire is just a wish. You have learned that everything man creates or acquires begins in the form of desire, through definite plans. Here are Hill's key teachings. You must have a plan, no matter how simple. If your first plan fails, make a new one. Most people fail not from lack of desire, but from lack of planning. And importantly, your plan should involve a mastermind group, people who can help you refine, test, and strengthen your ideas. Hill also teaches that planning is fluid. Success doesn't come from one perfect plan, but from your ability to adjust and persist. Example, the entrepreneur who failed forward. Imagine a man named Daniel. He wanted to launch a food delivery app in his small town. His first plan flopped. No one downloaded it. Instead of quitting, Daniel surveyed users, rebranded, and relaunched with a better design and clearer value. By his third plan, he had a thriving business because he never saw failure as final. Organized planning is what transformed his persistence into profit. Chapter 6 teaches us the plan is the bridge between dream and reality. So draft your first plan. Start now. Improve as you go, because your desire only becomes destiny when you give it a structure to stand on. Chapter 7. Decision highlights a vital success trait: decision. Successful people have the habit of making decisions quickly and changing them slowly. Napoleon Hill found that indecision is a major cause of failure. People who fail often procrastinate in making decisions or avoid them altogether. In contrast, successful people make clear, firm decisions and stick with them. Hill urges us to be decisive with our goals. When you decide what you want, you create momentum. Hesitation creates confusion. Many people are influenced too easily by others, family, friends, critics. Hill says, make your own decisions based on your own desires. Listen to counsel, but act on your own conviction. The key is to take full responsibility for your choices, That's how you develop character, clarity, and courage. Example: Napoleon Hill's 500 Millionaires versus the Public Hill interviewed 500 of the most successful people of his time. Almost all of them made quick, confident decisions. Compare that to the average person who changes their mind often, doubts themselves, and second-guesses every choice. These millionaires succeeded not because they always made the perfect choice, but because they chose boldly, adjusted as needed, and learned quickly. Decision is action. Indecision is paralysis. Chapter 7 teaches us: decide clearly, decide quickly, adjust slowly. Ask yourself, what goal am I still hesitating on? What's one decision I can make today to move forward? Success is reserved for those who dare to decide, make the choice, back it fully, and keep moving forward. Chapter 9: The Power of the Master. Mind in. Chapter 9, Napoleon Hill introduces one of the most powerful tools for success: the mastermind. No mind is complete by itself. It needs contact and association with other minds to grow and expand. A mastermind is a group of 2 or more people who work in harmony toward a common goal. Through this alliance, each member benefits from the experience, knowledge, and spiritual energy of the group. This isn't just teamwork. Hill describes the mastermind as creating a third mind, a force of collective intelligence that is greater than the sum of its parts. He advises forming a mastermind group to challenge your thinking, expand your knowledge, support your plans, share resources and connections. It could be business partners, mentors, coaches, or even a group of like-minded friends. Example: Andrew Carnegie's master. Hill learned this concept from Andrew Carnegie, who attributed much of his success to the mastermind principle. Carnegie surrounded himself with men of talent, engineers, financial experts, strategists, and together, they grew U.S. Steel into a massive empire. He didn't try to know or do everything himself. He created a brain trust that amplified his power and accelerated success. Chapter 9 reminds us, alone, we are limited. Together, we become limitless. To apply this, identify people who can support your vision. Create an environment of honesty, learning, and progress. Meet regularly, even informally. The mastermind multiplies your courage, creativity, and clarity. And that's how ordinary people achieve extraordinary goals. Chapter 10: The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. Chapter 10 explores a surprising but profound topic: sex transmutation, the channeling of sexual energy into creativity, focus, and success. When driven by this desire, men develop keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative ability. Hill believed that sexual energy is the most powerful form of human desire. But instead of using it for physical gratification alone, high achievers transmute that energy into ambition, inspiration, and productivity. It's not about repression. It's about redirection. Taking that intense drive and using it to fuel your business, your art, your legacy. This chapter also links this energy to charisma and magnetism. People who transmute their energy radiate confidence and attract others to their vision. Example: Hill's observation of great men. Hill noticed that nearly every man who achieved great success had a strong sex drive, but also a highly developed will to channel it. They used that force to work late into the night, invent, write, speak, and create movements. He also observed that having a strong romantic partner, someone who inspired and believed in them, further amplified their creative power. Chapter 10 teaches us, energy is neutral. How you use it determines your destiny. Ask yourself, where is your most powerful energy being directed? Could you redirect that toward building your vision? The most successful people use every part of themselves, including their desire, to fuel their dreams. That's how energy becomes excellence. Chapter 11: The Subconscious Mind. Chapter 11 reveals a critical tool in manifesting success: the subconscious mind, the gateway between thought and reality. The subconscious mind acts first on the dominating desires which have been mixed with emotional feeling. Napoleon Hill teaches that your subconscious doesn't reason or judge. It simply accepts and acts on whatever thoughts you consistently feed it, especially those charged with emotion. It receives input from your conscious mind, your repeated thoughts, affirmations, and visualizations, and translates them into plans, insights, and even external conditions. What you impress upon the subconscious becomes your experience. Here's how to influence your subconscious mind positively. Use autosuggestion, repeat clear, emotional affirmations. Visualize your success as already achieved. Avoid fear, doubt, or negative emotions. They can plant harmful seeds. The subconscious is constantly listening, so take care of what you say to yourself and others. Example: faith and desire embedded in the subconscious. Throughout Think and Grow Rich, Hill repeats the story of Edwin Barnes. His burning desire to work with Edison and his persistent self-talk embedded that desire in his subconscious. He visualized the goal daily. He repeated it with emotion. And eventually, circumstances aligned with his dominant thought. This wasn't luck, it was the subconscious mind at work. Chapter 11 teaches us, guard your mind because it shapes your life. Feed your subconscious, positive emotions, clear intentions, repeated affirmations. Your outer world will begin to reflect your inner programming. Chapter 12. The brain. In Chapter 12, Napoleon Hill explores how your brain functions as a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. He believed that thoughts are a form of energy, and that the brain, especially when stimulated by emotion, can send out and pick up thoughts from other minds. This is how ideas are shared, inspiration is caught, and mastermind groups work. They're exchanging thought vibrations at an unseen level. When combined with faith, desire, and emotion, the brain becomes a powerful channel for creativity, decision-making, and problem-solving. To activate this process, strengthen your emotional intensity, use affirmations and visualization, surround yourself with like-minded thinkers, mastermind. Example: mental tuning in high-level meetings. Hill noted that when successful people meet in harmony, new ideas emerge that weren't present in any individual beforehand. That third mind is a byproduct of shared mental energy, received and transmitted unconsciously. By thinking clearly and intentionally, we can tune our minds into higher frequencies of thought. Chapter 12 reminds us, your thoughts have power, and your brain is the amplifier. So, think deliberately. Embrace emotions like faith and enthusiasm. Tap into collective genius through collaboration. Your mind is more powerful than you think. It doesn't just receive ideas, it sends them out and calls them in. Chapter 13, The Sixth Sense. In the final principle of Think and Grow Rich, Hill introduces something mysterious yet vital: the sixth sense. The sixth sense is that portion of the subconscious mind which has been referred to as the creative imagination. This is the principle of intuition, inner guidance, or hunches, an invisible force that speaks when all the other elements are in harmony. Desire, faith, planning, persistence, imagination, and the subconscious mind. Hill believed the sixth sense connects you to infinite intelligence, allowing flashes of insight and wisdom to appear without logical explanation. He emphasizes this principle cannot be explained. It must be developed and experienced through consistent practice. Of all previous steps, when the sixth sense appears, you just know what to do. And often, it's the exact move that propels your dream forward. Example: intuitive decisions of great leaders. Hill observed that highly successful individuals, Carnegie, Ford, Edison, often made bold decisions based on gut feeling, not just logic. They described it as something told me, or I had a hunch. That was their sixth sense guiding them, after years of training their mind. Chapter 13 teaches us, when all principles are mastered, the sixth sense appears. To activate it, practice faith, imagination, and autosuggestion daily. Quiet your mind with reflection or meditation. Trust your hunches when they appear. The sixth sense is the mind's highest function, and when it speaks, it often speaks with wisdom beyond words. You've just unlocked all 13 principles from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Not just read, but explained deeply, brought to life with real and imagined examples, and broken down so you can apply them every day. Now here's the truth. Knowing these principles is not enough. You must act, choose one goal, apply desire, feed your faith, speak your affirmation, visualize, plan, persist, collaborate, think clearly, control your mind, redirect your energy, trust your instincts. You have everything you need. The tools are timeless. The decision is yours. So if you're serious about success, don't just think and grow rich. Live and grow rich. Like this content? Subscribe for more deep, practical guides on the world's most powerful books. Your future. Self is waiting. Let's build it, one principle at a time.